All right, today I'm going to be showing you how I created this barrier effect in After Effects. We're going to drop a link to the footage down below for you to follow along. If you have questions, jump inside the Discord, but let's get straight into this. All right, so this is actually done for a music video. So we're going to find the point where he actually touches inside the sky. That's where it's going to activate. And then we're just going to delete this part. And this part, we're just going to take that off, drag this to the beginning, and then we're going to pull this work area to here, right click and trim comp to work area. And this is going to be our starting frame over here. Then he touches it in the sky, and that's where it's going to activate. So I did notice there is some movement inside of this clip. I didn't notice until now because I didn't realize we didn't put this on a tripod. It's hard to remember sometimes because I shoot so much stuff. So we're going to need to track this area inside of the footage so we can make sure it's staying still. So we're just going to go here, go to Mocha, AE, hit Mocha, and then we'll switch it to full res. Let's get into here. We're going to find, then we're just going to find a spot that we can track inside the footage, maybe something like around over here. Doesn't need to be a big area, something like that, for instance. Okay, perfect. And we are just going to hit track forward. All right, now that we're done that, we're going to hit the save button, exit this. We are going to right click, create a null object, put that at the bottom, select this, go to tracking data in the effects. Create tracking data, go to quarter pin, change that to transform, layer export to, and we're going to choose the null and apply the export. And now we should have that tracked in, and we don't want the rest of the scale and rotation data, so we're going to click this null, hit U twice, and we're going to delete the scale and the rotation so that we only have the position. That's all we're looking for inside of this tracking data. So we're going to use Fractal Noise to create the barrier over here, but I actually have a pretty cool script that allows for you to use animated, pretty much pre-made noise and stuff. So you guys can go to the Discord and we'll drop a link to some stuff so you guys can have access to it, or you could just copy the values that you see. Same difference, you could just punch it in manually, but let's go into this and see what we have available. First thing we should do though is create a new composition so we can drag that pre-comp in. We're going to call this barrier, and then we're just going to hit OK. We're going to press Command Y. We're going to call that one barrier 2. Then we're going to go through these effects and find which one looks good. I think the snowing one looks pretty cool. The electric clouds one looks pretty dope too. I'm trying to think about which one we want to use. Lumpy clouds looks sick. Let's go with the lumpy clouds. We're going to go down to evolution over here, add an expression for 50, and then we're going to hit apply, and that's going to apply it to the layer that we have over here. And I think that looks pretty cool for a barrier. I think that's going to work out really well. So, and we don't need this much of the barrier, so we're going to get it to around 8 seconds, and then again we're going to trim comp to work area, and we're going to work with this segment over here. All right, so we're going to go back into our original composition over here, and we're going to go back into our project window and grab this barrier and drag and drop it into here. And I did forget to make the mask of the background, so actually we're going to do that right now. So we're going to duplicate this layer over here. We are going to solo it, and then we are going to draw a mask around where the actual ground is over here. So let's get into that, zoom in a bit, and let's just try and get it the best we can. You can make this a lot cleaner if you want to, if you're taking your time with it. So if it isn't the best, remember this is just a reference for the clip I'm showing you. Then we're just gonna grab this and wrap it around. And then we're gonna parent that link to the null over here. And we're just gonna rename this matte, for instance. And then we're gonna disable it. And then maybe we're gonna add a feather of maybe 3 pixels to it just to soften out the edges so it doesn't look too hard, and put that underneath of this layer. And we're just gonna leave this off for now because it's just a matte. Then we're going to bring in this barrier layer into here, drag it on top, and we are going to do the same thing. We're going to parent link this to the null, and then the track matte, we're going to use that matte layer as a matte for it, and then we're just going to invert it. And now you have, quote unquote, the barrier behind where the sand would be. So we're going to disable that also for now too. So we're just going to find the spot where his hand goes up and touches, and that's where we'd want it to activate. So we're just going to put this back on for now, right click and put this to a screen or add. It doesn't really matter, it depends on what you're doing, but we're going to put this on screen, for instance, and we're going to find the area where he puts his hand up. Now what we want to do is create a mask over here, and that's where we're going to animate the expansion to make it look like it opens up into the scene. So we're just going to go here to ellipse tool. We're just going to draw a mask right around his hand in the area that he's putting his hand up over there. And then from here, we're going to press M a couple of times, and we're going to keyframe the mask expansion inside of here. And we can just add a bit of a feather here just to soften up the edges. And now selecting the layer, we're just going to hit U to bring up the keyframes, and you can see the mask expansion starts right over here. And then right around maybe over here, we want it to expand going fully out. So we'll have it kind of go like this. And his hand actually goes up around over here. So what we can do is we can drag it to around this area here, and it shouldn't be open already. So we could just get the mask expansion and make it negative instead. So it looks like something like this, like his hand actually goes up right there. And you could just play with these keyframes to find where it matches perfectly. And if we just hit play, you can see it opens up. And what we could do with these is right click them after highlighting all of them, keyframe assistant, and hit easy ease. And that's just makes it go in more smoothly. And you could play with that in the graph editor to make it a little smoother if you want to. But like I said, that's something you could play with after to kind of adjust it to see what you like the most. And you could have it just ease into it like this kind of a thing. So now I'll come back out of here, and we're going to move on to the next step. The problem I'm having with this is it looks way too clean, and I don't like the look of that. So we're going to try and break this up to add some more complexity to it. So on this barrier layer over here, we're going to add a roughen edges effect to it. And we're just going to play with different things like the fractal influence, the scale of it to see how much of it's actually affected. So yeah, adding some right there. Maybe we'll change this to spiky instead. I like that. And let me play with the complexity a little more, something like around here. I think that looks good, and it's really breaking up those ledges. That's why I like it. And I think something like this looks pretty damn good. And then what's really going to sell breaking this up is us adding a turbulent displacement effect. We could turn up the complexity a bit over here too. So the next thing we're going to do is add a turbulent displacement effect to it. And then we're just going to crank up the complexity of it all the way. And that really breaks up the edges a lot. And I think that looks really good for expanding it. So right around here, we're going to keyframe to maybe around here. We're going to add a keyframe to the amount. And then right around the edge of it over here, we're going to turn this down to 0 so that it doesn't affect the noise that we're actually animating that's making the barrier, because I think it looks pretty good already with it like this. So, and the problem you're going to have too is you want it to ease into it. So we're just going to right click the last keyframe, go to keyframe assistant and ease in. And that just makes it smoother as it's animating when it's going here. So something around over here, and we can even right click this and just easy ease this one too. And that just eases in the animation of the turbulent displacement to make it a little smoother so you don't notice it as much. So just a little tip. And play around with the position of that to find what works for what you're trying to do. But I think where I had it just before that is pretty good. Something around over here. And like I said, just keep playing with this to find what works for your clip. Don't marry the properties I'm putting up. Just find what you think looks good for what you're trying to do. And in the original, I added the CC sphere effect. You don't need to do it. You can. But to give you an idea of what that would look like, you can just add the CC sphere effect over here. So we can just find it over here. And that makes it into a ball instead, like this. And you can play around with these settings, and that just helps with rounding off the edges, and you can add light fall off where you want it to be. So for instance, you just increase the radius till it's bigger than everything inside your clip, and that kind of animates it a little differently, gives it a whole different feel on the effect of it, but that depends on if you want to use it or not. And this one, for sake of the tutorial and kind of giving you the idea, we're just going to avoid that to make it look like this instead. So another thing that you guys can do is add a glow to this. So you can add a optical glow effect. You can use whichever one you want, even a native glow. And you can just play with things like the amount, for instance, and the size of the fall off of the glow right over here. And then just play with your highlights only. So this is only going to affect really the highlights inside of the image and give it more of that subtle feel. And then you can play with the roll off, which helps it kind of soften how much of the glow is rolling off into the image. And that gives you an area of it where it actually highlights all of this stuff around, which is pretty cool. And then you can also choose colorize, and you can actually change the color of this too. So for me, I think like a nice like light blue or something Looks pretty cool. It doesn't have to be too dramatic, just subtle. And then the last thing that I did that I thought looked really cool is I duplicated this layer and then I just disabled the one underneath of it. And then in here, I wanted to make it look like you could see the edges kind of animating more and glowing just to kind of add some more separation to it. So you can add a find edges effect to this layer over here. And then we're just going to invert it. And you can see that it's literally just going for the edges of the actual animation instead. And I think that looks pretty cool when it's pulling it out. And to make sure that it affects it properly, just put it above the optical glow, and that's just going to isolate the edges of this image over here, which looks pretty damn cool. And then if we turn it off, and if we turn on the one underneath, you can see what it's really doing. It's adding that extra kind of layer on top of it over here. I think it looks pretty damn dope. So you can play around, like I said, with the glow settings over here. You can make it a bit brighter, and you can spread out the glow of it a lot more. And then even if you want to, you can make it radiate. And I did use shine on it too the last time. And this is just pretty cool because it adds like these rays that come out of it. So it just depends on what you're looking for and what you're doing. But like I said, you can go over to colorize here and you can just choose like something like one color. And then you can go to that same blue that we were using in the other clip. And you can go to that same blue that we were using initially for the first one that we had on here. And you can just make it subtle or you can make it more, and then you can adjust the settings. And that just, like I said, adds another pop to it that looks pretty cool as it's animating coming out. And you don't need to make it as aggressive. You can make this more subtle. So when you're going to shine opacity, for instance, you can turn this down a lot and just make it a little more subtle so it looks like it pops out more when it comes out here. And for instance, with something like this, like I said, once it comes out, it's pretty much gone. And yeah, but you have this pretty cool effect. And if you really want it to pop, you can use a radio blur. And we're going to change this to the center point to being over here. And we're going to change that from spin to zoom, for instance. And we're going to animate this. So maybe around here, it's on. A couple frames before, we're going to turn it off. We're going to put that back to 0. And you can see what something like this is doing. Maybe around here, we'll turn it back off again. So it's just a small little animation, and it just adds a bit of that distortion to show it as it's animating going out. Then I would just pre-comp all of this together, for instance, and then you can add something like a shake just as it's starting to come out. And sometimes I use Production Crate's shake script. So if you see here, you can get this also from their website, and you could just go to Jolt, for instance, go to maybe Jolt 3. And we're just going to turn down the amplitude a bit, and we're just going to play with the frequency. Actually, keep the frequency up and skip some of the keys, maybe to around like 3 instead. And we're just going to hit Jolt. And as you can see, it just adds a bit of a shake to the image as it's coming out. But yeah, this is the general idea of how I went about creating this effect over here. You can add displacement maps to it, distortion and all this stuff, but I wanted to keep it simple, short and sweet, right to the point. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to like, comment, share it with somebody you think you'll find it valuable, and jump into Discord if you guys need help, and I will provide the actual project file to show you guys exactly what I did to go through this whole entire effect. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, get out there and create. Peace.